Hello, welcome back. My name is Sarah Mackenzie. I read as Sora for Sora Sky Messages, Sora the Intuitive. And we have a crazy month here astrologically. So while I'm not an astrologer, I do like to read about it and then I try to make sense of it with tarot. So I put together a little spread to look at how the changes at the end of the month are going to affect us. On the 23rd, the Sun and Venus go into Scorpio, and then on the 25th, we have that new moon in Scorpio, opening up eclipse season, and then we have 6 planets coming out of retrograde this month, and 1 going into. So I put together a little spread, and we're just going to see how that goes. This is for Gemini, so we are going to start with a card for them, but something to remember. Obviously all Geminis are not the same. They're not all going to have the same things happening. If this doesn't resonate, feel free to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. See which feels most right to you. So we're going to start for a card for Gemini. We are using the Tarot of the Haunted House. So this is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is a balance between head and heart. He has been through all of the ups and downs of the Ace through 10 of the Cups, and he has been the Page, the Knight, and the Queen. He's been over-emotional. He's been not emotional enough. He has gone through all of the ups and downs, and so he is able to express what he is feeling. In terms of a card for you, this feels like it's asking you to not be afraid to communicate what you are thinking. On the 30th, the Mars retrograde is in Gemini, so it may feel harder for you to express those, but this is asking you to give it a try. We have a card for the general situation of what's going on around you. And that's the King of Pentacles. Look at you with the 2 kings. The King of Pentacles is similar to the King of Cups in that he has been through everything that his suit could offer. He has had everything he's ever needed, and he has been in places where he felt like he had nothing. He has been able to make money or find time, and he has been without it. As such, not only is the king usually very good with his resources, but he is also very generous. The idea of knowing that if he puts it out there, he will be able to get it back. I love these together because it speaks to using your experience at this time and not letting yourself get overwhelmed, knowing that whatever argument, conversation, or situation regarding time, energy, really anything you need comes up, it reminds you that you've been there and you can apply that. 2 cards, 2 kings is pretty cool too, because there's only 4 kings and it's a 78 card deck. So there really is this emphasis on understanding that you have some mastery in the situation and not to let anything that comes up this month intimidate you. The next card is something to watch for. With a lot of challenges coming up, they are making sure that you are thinking and kind of being on the lookout for various things. And here we have another king. This is the King of Wands. This is a card of delegation. This is a card of making sure that you know what you're doing in terms of you having the plan and then letting other people do the pieces that don't work for you. See, the Wands is about vision, ambition. It's about putting together a dream and doing what makes you passionate. The thing about most visions is that there's usually parts and steps that you need to take that don't excite you. And that can make it hard to keep that excitement up for the things that you do love. So when the King of Wands shows up, asks you to have the plan, put the plan completely together, and then start delegating. So what to watch for would be having that burnout, feeling like you're taking on everything, feeling like you're starting to lose that passion for the thing that usually drives you, and bringing in other people. And that's 3 kings, 3 cards. The odds on that are pretty low, so that's kind of cool. But again, speaking to mastery, but also at this point, speaking to not always having to be the person with all the answers. The kings are the ones who are leading, and sometimes that experience means that you just keep taking things on. Next, we look at what needs to be healed. That is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a card of seeing the bright side. It's a card of having rose-colored glasses. As a what needs to be healed, to me, that speaks very intently to having trusted the wrong people in the past and now being afraid to trust anyone. Having ignored red flags, or having decided that the good aspects outweighed the bad. This card kind of wants you to get back to looking at the bright side, but without the just jumping in. This asks you to be kind of cautiously optimistic, trusting again, but finding the right people to trust. And then we have, where should I pause before jumping in? The 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is the cut and run card. It is the card of false starts in a lot of ways. It is having gone down a road that you thought that you were going to be committed to, that you thought that you were very dedicated to, and that was going to be your whole life for a while, and then finding out that that just wasn't going to happen. In terms of where to pause before jumping in, this is that waiting 24 hours before signing a contract. That is the double and triple checking every aspect before you say yes. This is the, if it feels too good to be true, it is probably worth dissecting where that is, and making some adjustments. We have so much strength here in the beginning, and then we come into a place that's maybe a little bit of overconfidence. And that can be really hard, because if you are trying to heal and you are trying to trust, when you finally get to that point where you're like, oh, I think I found who I can trust, or something that'll work for me, it's hard not to overcorrect and jump right in. So there's this pull for balance, relying on your experience, and just taking a minute. It's funny because Mercury is out of retrograde, and when it's in retrograde, that is one of those things that we always talk about, is pausing before signing contracts, taking your time. But with everything else going on, there's a lot coming to light, and it is best to take extra care, take extra notes, and take extra time before you do that. Finally, I want to take the shadow, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is a card of opportunity and potential. All of the aces have potential to them, but the Ace of Pentacles is special because we're talking about resources. So we're talking about what you need as the basis for anything you do. So it's that foundation, and it really says that everything is open to you. As a shadow card, a hidden element, something that touches upon everything else, that's really wonderful, because it essentially says, if you're careful to pause, to think, to not jump to any conclusions, whether that's automatically not wanting to work with somebody because you don't know them, or automatically not wanting to give somebody a chance or a situation, but also not automatically jumping in because you don't know when you're going to see this offer again, or because you're working so hard to combat anxiety and not just listen. If you are really taking your time and thinking things through, then all of this opportunity, this potential, can lead to this sort of fulfillment that the kings are indicating. So I hope you were able to take a breath before everything you say and do this month and see how well that really works for you. Good luck.